N&W Class J number 611.
Wow,
Built
what a
in May
beautiful,
of 1950 by
beautiful
the Roanoke
engine.
shops of the Norfolk and Western Railway. Here, we'll step over here, get on the sunny side.
Okay.
Always watch the tracks.
What a beautiful engine.
Oh, it's a phenomenal locomotive. Absolutely gorgeous. So
This is kind of an era when locomotives were kind of on the way out, right? If I'm not mistaken.
So the N&W was kind of one of the last holdouts for steam. You know, they built this in their shops basically because a lot of the manufacturers weren't going to make steam engines anymore.
Yeah.
So 611 is just a phenomenal machine. This is its second tenure here at the railroad. It came to Strasburg in 2019 for the reunion of steam.
I'll put you on the video here.
Sure. And the reason for that was it was a reunion between N&W 611 and N&W 475 that's owned by us here at Strasburg. 475 and 611 are the only two remaining operational N&W steam locomotives in the world.
Wow, so you have one of two.
Yes, we do.
Wow.
Now there are a few in static preservation, however, but there are only two operating, 611 and 475. So the 611 was part of the J class of steam locomotive. It's a 484, so a northern type. It was a high-speed passenger locomotive, streamlined, as you can see. And there were only 14 of them built, and 611 is the only left. All others have been cut up. They're none in static preservation, nothing. 611 is the only Class J left.
It's a shame what happened to the Crusader. I mean, we would love to see an example of that today, you know. But they're all gone.
It's the time when steam was, you know, high-speed streamlined steam engines are just incredible to see. You know, this is just the technology for what it was back in the day. You know, this thing weighs in at well over 400 tons.
Wow.
But it is so well balanced because it's got roller bearing axles, and all of the side rods are roller bearing as well, as you can see there. And we can get
I see that, yeah.
here in a bit.
Wow.
It is so well balanced that we got another train coming. If you want to see that.
Yeah. You've got him on video already, so we'll get him on video again.
Oh, he's gonna make.
They let me actually fly the drone over him last time we were up here.
So that's our number 90.
Okay.
90 is the youngest engine that Strasburg owns, and that's actually only 26 years older than 611. So you can see the progression of technology.
Yeah, that's kind of neat to see that actually.
It's kind of a, you can catch him through the gap there.
Yeah, I'll get it right through the gap there.
So that's what 26 years of technology gives you.
Wow.
So 611, despite weighing over 400 tons, a group of 6 people could actually pull this locomotive.
Get out, really?
Yes.
Wow.
It is that.
Or one big strong dude, maybe.
No, it's just that well balanced because of the roller bearing technology.
That's amazing.
611 makes 5,400 horsepower at 40 miles an hour. It's got 70-inch drive wheels, and it has a top speed listed of 110 miles an hour.
Wow.
However, if you go back in history, now granted, railroaders are excellent storytellers, albeit sometimes not even close to true, but that makes it interesting. But there are plenty of stories of these engines that could eclipse well over 110.
Wow.
Stem to stern, coupler to coupler, she's over 110 feet long. She's about 17 feet tall.
Wow.
Just a phenomenal locomotive.
Yeah.
Get a up close look.
Sure.
So, unlike number 90, they mounted the bells underneath the shroud. So, you know, for aerodynamics, and it had an air ringer.
Look at that. Wow.
It has 2 air compressors, and that was designed to supply the air for long passenger trains. You can just standing next to it, you can get a scope of just how tall and
this
long
is a great view right here.
To give you perspective, I'm a little bit over 6 feet tall.
Okay.
And you can see the difference of my height, which is, you know, above average compared to this thing. I'm just, you know, above.
Yeah. Wow. What kind of metal is that? I mean, it's so silver compared to some of the others. Is it just painted that way?
It stays polished.
Okay.
So like the 611 guys, you can see they have a lipid surface that's developing.
Yeah.
So what they'll do before the next operating period is they have a great group of volunteers. And being up here, having volunteers, they actually, put out a call, and we got a few local fellows and a local gal that do an awesome job volunteering with them. So they'll clean the rods, you know, and they'll make her look really good. She shines up like a new penny when they do.
Yeah.
You know, washing this engine on is about a day-long process.
I would
to
imagine.
do it right. Yeah. So here's your dynamo. This creates your electricity for your radio, your headlights, headlights, all that.
Huh.
You can see here's the bearing, and it's a roller bearing.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh.
And it's all streamlined, and you can see there's access hatches at various points to access the plugs.
Okay.
They put these doors in the body so you can get in there and work on the locomotive for inspections.
Okay. When you say plugs, is it just like drain plugs?
Boiler plugs.
Boiler plug, okay.
So yeah, drains. Like you'll take the plugs out when you do a boiler wash. Basically, you take out all the plugs.
Yeah.
You run a hose through it in different places and wash any, you know, sediment that settles, because obviously water has dissolved solids in it.
Mm-hmm. I guess you have to just use plain old water, you know, from the faucet type of water. You don't use purified water anyway.
No, the water you put in the locomotives here, that's a very excellent question. There's actually a lot of science to the water chemistry here. For this locomotive with the VMT group, and as well as here at Strasburg, and if we catch up with Mr. Lotfi, he can explain in detail what we do, but we actually test the water daily.
Okay.
And we'll make chemical adjustments as needed.
Wow.
For,
so the water you have in the tank up there is actually specially treated?
Yes, it is.
Okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's specifically treated with boiler chemicals to. Well, okay. Let's put it in simple terms here. You know, you boil a pot of water, and you say you have a stainless steel pot. You dump out that water. There's that line, a scale.
Yeah.
That's on a stainless steel pot. Imagine it on raw steel.
Yeah.
A 10,000 gallon capacity. You don't want to. You want to be very mindful and very attentive to the water that you're putting in the locomotive. Because, you know, if you do it right, you open up the dome at the end of the year and it really doesn't look much different than when you sealed it up.
Yeah.
So here's the motor for the stoker right here.
Okay.
So
when you say motor, is it like an automatic stoker?
Yes. Okay. So if you see in there, you can feel free to put your camera in there if you need to see it better. Right where I'm shining, that big pipe right there is actually where the auger for the stoker is. And right there,
cool.
That's the, I don't think the term's drive shaft, but this is the shaft that
right here,
the auger.
the square looking one right here.
Yes.
Okay.
So are you familiar with how a stoker works, or you want me to kind of?
No, I'm not an automatic stoker. So, I mean, I can envision a screw type thing.
Here in the tender, obviously the bunker slopes down, but in the bottom there is a channel with a giant stoker. It looks like, you ever seen like a gas-powered hole?
Yes, yep,
Same concept.
I've seen those in mills and places like that.
Yeah, so it's just a giant stoker. Picture the action of, say, a snowblower. Mm-hmm. Same idea. It carries the coal from the tender to the locomotive, and when we get up there, I can kind of show you how it disperses. But it's really cool because it does it propels its own coal with its own steam.
Wow.
This is like a self-contained...
So it's like a turbine type thing that maybe drives the screw?
No, it's just a steam-powered motor that turns the screw.
Okay.
And it'll carry that coal, and you can adjust where you want it to go, and it goes up on what's called a blast table, or a firing table, and it'll use steam to shoot the coal.
Wow. That's pretty advanced, you know? It really is for that time period.
1950.
Yeah.
You know, 70... Hold on, math. Oh, man. 71 years ago.
Yeah.
This is the technology.
Yeah.
Just an incredible locomotive. So here you have the tender, which is, I mean, once again, I'm 6 feet tall. It's a pretty significant sized piece of equipment. It's a 6-axle tender in order to support the weight.
Yeah.
Because you've got, this carries 35 tons of coal.
Wow.
And 20,000 gallons of water. Now, when 611 travels, down around the corner there where you can't see it, we have its auxiliary water car, and that holds an additional 25,000.
I think we saw the tender up there as we were driving up.
You know, you can have up to 45,000 gallons of water.
Wow. So you could actually hook up 2 tenders to this.
And I'll show you on the connection on the back. A little bit of modern here. You know what this is?
So is that like a GPS tracker?
Sort of. So you've heard of like an RFID tag? This is the same thing. This is called an AEI tag.
Okay.
Automatic Equipment Identification Tag. So at various points along the main lines, they have like it's this contraption, and it'll read each AEI tag on a car as it goes by. Each rail car or locomotive has 2 tags at the same location on both sides, at the towards the front of whichever direction you're looking. So like when it went on its way here, when it went through Manassas, it read this tag and said NNW 611.
Wow.
Or actually,
and so you could just track it.
It's actually VMTX 611, Virginia Museum of Transportation. That's their reporting mark. So it read to me, because I have an app that I can see, being a freight conductor here, I can see where the cars I'm expecting are. It said they're in Manassas. Huh. So it's pretty neat stuff.
That's neat. It's like tracking it, sort of tracking an airplane, you know.
Every rail car has one.
Online.
So like right there, AEX 9810 there. If you look, there's a little green stripe sitting on the AEI tag over
I see that.
Probably
yeah.
Kind of hard to see.
You can zoom in on that, Andy, maybe with the camcorder. See that green stripe on there?
Green stripe there, right above the truck. That's another AEI tag, and each rail car has two.
I didn't know that.
The VMT ones have it. Their water car has it.
And your passenger train has it too?
We don't, because we're not interchanging.
Oh, yeah, because that stays here. That doesn't go anywhere.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we'll cross over here. And you were asking about hooking up two tenders.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Right here. Here's your fire hose connection.
Oh yeah.
So you just run a giant fire hose from one tender to the other.
Okay.
And that will then feed the water to the locomotive.
Wow. Now these dimple loops over here, I'm familiar with
Those are called
polling, and they still had those, even at that time period.
They don't. I didn't really.
They were pretty dangerous, from what I understand.
Oh, yeah.
People died.
Oh yes. Well, being a brakeman back in the early days of railroading, if you made it 5 years, you were pretty good.
Wow.
So you see again, here's another AEI tag. See how?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Same location.
Huh. Yeah, just on the other side. Huh. That's interesting.
So there's a lot of technology to the railroad. Even our diesel engine number 8618 has one right under the number 2 there.
I see it.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow.
So you can kind of get a better look at the stoker here. See where it comes from the tender. I can shine the light. Feel free to, put your GoPro in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see. Okay.
So then it carries through there.
I see. There's coal down there on the bottom.
Yeah, there.
Yeah. So it kind of spills down in a little bit there, maybe a little bit.
That might be user error too. I'm not too sure.
Okay.
So same thing on this side, pretty much. Up here is your reverser. The 611 and a lot of locomotives, as time went on, came equipped with a power reverse. So it's an air-assisted reverser. So instead of that big long Johnson bar that you got to He-Man every time, your power reverse, it's air-assisted. You just go. Psst.
Oh.
Here's your boiler drain. So when we drain the boiler, unlock that, turn the handle, and that'll drain all the water out.
Okay.
But yeah, so
how often would you do that? Would you drain all the water out? Just like once a year?
As in these days or in the days of steam?
These days now.
Every 30 days of operation.
Okay.
So like what 611 does now is they'll operate her for 30 days. So service day is defined as a day that there's fire in the box and pressure above atmosphere in the boiler. So they'll run it for 30 days and then you have to, or 31 days, I'm sorry, 31-day inspection. You have to drop the fire, pull the plugs, wash the boiler, and do a few other things. So that's when you drain the water.
Okay. Back in the days of steam, how often would they have done that?
That's a question I don't have an answer to. If you want me to be completely honest.
I'd say probably more often, but who knows? Because they use it. They use it a lot.
It's one of those things. You get 3 different accounts from 3 different people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Lofty would be able to tell you that. He's all about the books and the history.
Okay.
But, yeah, so they wash the boiler out, and start again. That just washes any scale that might happen or stir up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's your power reverse right there.
That's it right here?
Mm-hmm. This is the mechanism for power reverse.
Okay.
So depending on the direction you're going, that rod right there will go all the way in or all the way forward.
Okay. Huh.
And then that in turn controls the valve gear, which will then tell you forward, backward. That's sort of like your reverser is like your transmission in your car, reverser, the drive. Mm-hmm. And you'll see on the reverser in the cab, there's a lot of notches to it. So in addition to controlling your direction, it's kind of like having the speeds on your car.
Okay.
So in the corner it would be first gear, and up towards center would be, let's say it's a 6-speed, that'd be 6th gear. Mm-hmm. So as you build speed, you bring the reverser back towards center.
Okay.
That'll increase your...
So this is of course going backward.
Going backward,
Yeah.
which these engines, I mean, she's probably run more backwards here than she ever did in her real life.
Okay. Yeah. Then going forward, is that also true? Is it?
Yeah, you work your way from the corner as you
Okay.
build speed. You work it up, and if you find the sweet spot, the old term was the company notch, where
Okay.
you were getting the most efficiency using the least fuel and water.
Okay.
Because obviously you have your sanders, obviously to gain traction, you'll lay sand, because metal on metal and water don't always mix,
Right.
so you'll have your sand. And then you have what's called the rail washer here. It'll shoot a jet of water.
Look at that.
It'll wash off the rails as you go down the rail.
And it operates all the time, or only when you choose
no,
to do
only
it?
when you,
So if you see a dirty rail ahead, let's turn on the rail washer, right?
well, if you're moving slow enough to see it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to swing it out. It's kind of a challenge, but
Yeah.
handle in here, and then you got to kind of He-Man it and swing this door, and then the knuckle will actually swing out.
Wow.
And then there's a chain on top of the pin that you'll put the lever on here, and then that'll be your cut lever. And I thought of everything, and here are your controls for your air hoses.
Oh, look at that.
They're nestled back in here inside the door.
Okay.
And then the angle cock, because there's obviously nowhere to put it, the angle cock is just up in here. Right here, it's just next to the
Okay.
second air compressor, like we talked about earlier.
Huh.
So you open that, and that'll allow brake pipe pressure out of the front of the locomotive.
Okay, nice.
So if you want to go up in the cab, we can do
Yeah,
that.
sure. If I can make the climb, we'll see.
If I can do it, you can.
Yeah, well, you're a lot younger than me. Plus, I'm holding the camera.
Make sure you hold on at all times.
Yeah. Would you be able to hold on to the camera as I climb up there?
Sure.
You
You want me to take footage of you climbing?
Yeah, yeah. If you can maybe watch me fall. Yeah.
And then you want to grab onto one of these two here.
Yeah. Okay. Look at that. I still got it. You want to come up, Andy?
So what do you want to start with? Do you want to look in the firebox? Do you want me to kind of lay out the cap?
I guess we can start with the firebox.
All right. Well, let's wait for Andy here. Can't
Yeah.
start anything without Andy.
Yeah. Grab one to that one there.
Getting up is the easy part. I should have mentioned that.
Uh-oh.
No, you'll do this fine.
I'll be fine, I'm sure.
So right here, that is the size of the firebox
Look at that.
on the 611.
That's not as large as you think it would be.
It's a lot bigger than you realize.
Okay.
It's very deceiving.
Huh.
To give you perspective, it's about almost twice the size
All
of
right.
our number 90.
Okay.
So when I was talking about the firing cable, right here that is. So the stoker
Okay.
carries it up through here,
All right.
and then it'll lay it on the firing table.
Oh.
And you see those channels.
The firing table is okay. That's I was gonna
got
say
the channels
that's
that'll-
not the firing table where the channels are. That's just the
That-
distribution type of thing.
Yeah, it's part of the firing table
Okay.
apparatus. So it'll help guide it. And like I said, that's a very, very large firebox actually.
Okay.
You can see it's in there pretty good.
I guess it does go back up there pretty good, pretty
And
far.
it's very wide.
Yeah.
It's actually like if you're in there working, you'd be amazed at just
Yeah.
how big it is.
Yeah.
I forget the
Size of
now
internal
you're gonna,
volume.
now you're gonna make me look.
No, you got to pull your phone out.
You know, you'd think with the amount of times I get asked, I'd know, but I don't.
Well, now you're gonna know the answer if anybody else asks this.
Yeah, well, I gotta look good. I gotta look like I know what I'm doing. So its firebox is 107 square feet,
Okay, that's a good size.
and it runs at 300 psi on the boiler.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's 107 square feet area. That's pretty decent.
Yeah.
So then, you know, here's your view of what's called the back head of the locomotive. So you got all your appliances you might need. You got two sight glasses, one right there and one right here. That indicates how much water you have in the boiler.
Okay.
This is a handle for your feed water pump to be feeding the boiler. Here's your stoker blast. Here is your stoker control. And I have not fired this locomotive, so I'm not too sure what the other controls
Yeah, there's quite a few of them.
would do. Yeah, certainly it is. And this is, you know, stoker firing is a whole. It's an art. Don't let me try and convince you that it's easy.
Yeah.
Hand firing is also an art. It's just a lot more physical in some senses. But they do a pretty good job labeling most of the stuff here. So like here's your all of your controls for the turret.
Okay. Wow.
Here's your this gauge is for your feed water pump.
Okay.
PSI of the water you're putting in.
Uh-huh.
So this is constantly feeding water to the boiler instead of constantly injecting water.
Okay.
Like with an injector. Here's your steam gauge right here.
Okay.
Right there.
Let me come on over here. Sorry to get in front of you here.
And then this is a gauge to indicate what your stoker's doing.
Okay.
So steam pressure, feed water pump, stoker.
Oh yeah, the phone don't never.
Wow. Okay. Neat.
Yeah. So and then you're standing. You can still. These are a butterfly fire door, obviously.
Yeah.
But if you needed to put some coal in manually, you would.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your air pedal, just like our locomotives.
Oh, okay.
But you can turn that on or off. So if someone's walking around the cab, they're not going to.
Yeah. I accidentally hit that. Yeah.
So you can see, you can kind of get a glimpse. Actually, you might be able to put your hand in there and just kind of get an idea of how much coal goes in there.
Yeah. You can see it. Hopefully, don't drop the action in there. There we go. Oh yeah. Okay, it's a lot of coal. Huh.
So over here is your engineer's seat, obviously.
Okay. So the engineer always sits on the right, is that true?
Yes,
Okay.
always.
Okay.
That's why it's called the engineer's side.
Okay.
Then you got your fireman's side. So here's your reversing, you know how I was talking.
Yep.
All the way forward is obviously your forward movement.
Oh, okay.
All the way back is your back. So if you're starting with a long, heavy train up a grade, you'll start up in the front, and as you gain speed and momentum, you slowly notch it back, and
Right.
then if you're at your top working speed, you'll be pretty much almost. This is what's called center. It's in
Okay.
center, so it's kind of
Okay, that's probably your fastest forward speed, right?
No, this is just kind of neutral.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So just off of center ahead would be top of your.
Okay.
Here's your brake stand. This is your automatic brake. So this controls your train's brakes.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's your independent brake. So this controls just the locomotive and the tender.
Okay.
So this will be released all the way over, and that's applied.
Okay.
And when you make a reduction on your, say you're going down the railroad and you want to apply your train brakes, you'll make a reduction here with your automatic. Then you got to do what's called bail off your independent.
Okay.
So it releases the brakes on the locomotive itself. This is the handle this is the starting valve for the injector. The engineer's side has an injector, the fireman's side does not. Whereas all our locomotives here at Strasburg have a injector on both sides. Here's the injector just for the engineer's side, and there's the overflow control down there for it. That little handle.
I see it down in there. Okay. Yeah.
So this is for your bell, some of your sander controls, your rail washer. This is your whistle, choo-choo.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cylinder cocks, right here is this valve, and obviously everyone knows what this does. That's your throttle.
Yep.
It's a front end throttle.
You see you have a lock on it right there.
Yep, it's locked out. Granted, if I pulled it, even if it weren't locked, we wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So the gauges over here, once again, there's your steam gauge. These are your air brake gauges right here. Another pressure gauge there, and then your speedometer up to there.
Okay.
The speedometer does go to 100.
Oh, I see that. Yeah, I go to 100. But these go up to regularly go up to 110. All right.
So
you pin that. You pin that.
I think you just kind of put her all the way in the ketchup, as you say.
Yeah.
Put her all the way in the red. But yeah, up there are your tricocks. That's a secondary way of measuring water level in the boiler.
Okay.
But that's obviously your primary is going to be your sight glass right there.
Wow. All right. Neat.
Yeah.
Cool. Really appreciate the tour here, Alex. My video channel is called Dalton Drone and Discovery Zone, so you'll see this video go up there at some point if you want to have a look at it.
Oh, listen to myself talk.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You're doing a great job. It's excellent.
Well, for all you know, I could know nothing of what I'm talking about.
That's true.
It
sounds good, though.
I certainly don't know everything there is to know.
Yeah.
But that's just a little bit of what I do know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate the tour. We came up here just hoping to get a glimpse of it and get some of it on video, and here we are in the cab,
Dave Lockfee's, he's giving gifts out on his birthday.
Oh, yeah. I guess I got him on the right day.
Yeah, he's having a great day. It's his birthday, so.
Nice. All right. Well, I guess we'll end the video here then.
Yep.
And I'll thank you. Let me shake your hand here.
Not a problem. For more information,
Let me shake his hand there, Andy.
Thank you. The 611 and its operating schedule, check out our website, Strasburg Railroad, all spelled out, .com, StrasburgRailroad.com.
Yep.
There's a full schedule. 611's running selected weekends all the way through. I want to say October the 9th.
Yeah.
As of right now.
We'll have to come back up when this thing is running.
The throttle experience is still available where you can pay to run the engine for half an hour.
Wow. Neat.
Obviously, our regular excursion train ride, that's really what we enjoy doing with this engine. I think there's ability to pay to blow the whistle.
Well, we'll have to get up here and do at least one of those things, when when it's running,
absolutely.
actually.
Just check, and for any of your subscribers, just please check our website. We'd love to have you.
Yeah.
It's truly a pleasure to be able to be somewhat back to a sense of normal.
Absolutely.
We have been operating since June of last year under restrictions, but it's nice to be able to see. Something I truly missed was the smiling faces of our guests.
Yep.
So, check us out.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, folks, I'm going to try to climb down here without killing myself.
Here, well, you want like me to hold it so they can see you try?
All right, let's see. Maybe you can see me make the fall here.
I'm going to go for it.
Let's see. Should I turn around and go backward?
Like going down a ladder at home. Absolutely.
Okay, here we go.
Just, take your time. Yep, and then you'll reach behind you. Keep going. You're getting there. You're getting right to it. All right.
Awesome. All right, folks. That'll do it for this video. Again, I thank Alex and I thank the Strasburg Railroad for this tour. I really appreciate it. Didn't expect to get the full cab tour, but it's greatly appreciated.
Well, it all goes, thanks goes to our superintendent of locomotives and rolling stock, Mr. David Lott.
I'll have to maybe stop by and thank him if I see him.
We can stop by, wish him a happy birthday.
All right, absolutely. All right, folks, take care. Be safe out there. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.